Folks, Rick and Morty Season 6 is right around the corner, just under a month away. The newest set of episodes is scheduled to begin airing Sunday, September 4th, almost exactly 1 year to the day since the finale of Season 5 aired on Adult Swim. And fittingly, the promotion for Season 6 is starting to ramp up in some very creative ways. Creative and cryptic ways. And alongside these cryptic promos, we've also gotten episode title reveals and Justin Roiland interviews, and I think some of the things being teased could mean for a very interesting upcoming season of Rick and Morty. So let's break down what kind of things Rick and Morty might be teasing for Season 6. And hey, if you like my Rick and Morty speculation, I've not only got a few other Rick and Morty videos, but I've also got a podcast that I co-host with my good friend Terrific Tariq, and we've covered all 5 seasons of Rick and Morty so far. We'll definitely be talking about Season 6 when it wraps up, so if you're interested in hours more dissection and discussion about our favorite multiversal duo, go check it out here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Who's drinking balls?
Alright, so I think one thing we need to do is a quick refresher on last season's finale for Rick and Morty, which was probably their biggest ever in both scale and from a narrative perspective. A lot happened. The first big revelation from the season finale was the full canonical backstory for Rick that we've been waiting on for years, which I really appreciated, but recapping I don't think is important for what's being teased about Season 6. So let's just move on to the next one. I do think the next big revelation is important, which is the outcome of Evil Morty's plan and motivations, which definitely didn't turn out to be what I expected. They were fascinating nonetheless. Evil Morty's plan was only ever to escape the central finite curve. He was so fed up with Rick's that he wanted to escape the possibility of ever seeing or interacting with them entirely. He even reveals what the central finite curve actually is after we'd heard the name countless times over the course of the show.
He built a wall around infinity. He separated all the infinite universes from all the infinite universes where he's the smartest man in the universe.
So there's a bit of a debate as to what Evil Morty actually does here in the finale. Basically, the two camps are that one, he either destroyed the central finite curve, breaking down the wall around infinity and restoring connection to the remainder of the infinite universes in which Rick is not the smartest man, or two, he simply broke through the curve and found himself on the other side. I think there's good arguments for either. The visualization they used was showing the curve of universes all sort of disintegrate once he broke through the barrier, which I think you could either read as the curve does not exist, or now that Morty has broken through to the other side, he no longer has access to the curve. On top of this, we see the entirely different portal color, yellow, which generally within the show, these distinctions are important. We've seen blue portals move through space, while green move across dimensions, so it remains to be seen what the yellow one actually means. There could be major implications moving forward here. For one, the Citadel of Ricks is destroyed. Two, if the curve has been destroyed, our Rick and Morty are now connected to an entirely new multiverse of beings, some of which could be smarter or more dangerous than Rick himself, which, yeah, it was already a multiversal show, so maybe it doesn't feel that different, but we've always known Rick as the alpha being in the universe, and the idea that this might not be true anymore, I think is incredibly interesting. What lies waiting on the other side of the curve? And even if the infinite multiverse isn't immediately accessible, we know it exists, and that Evil Morty has escaped to that place, which could be a catalyst for things coming back through. So either way, there are big possibilities here. And I think the first Season 6 teaser reaffirms this idea. Now, admittedly, this teaser is primarily made up of Season 5 footage and older, but I think the VO here is very important.
Can't outrun your past, Rick.
Someone out there is trying to kill us.
Someone's always trying to kill us. Say goodbye to the Citadel, fellas.
The universe, as we all know it, has ended.
So they cut together these old clips and used one new piece of VO to get a few ideas across. One, Rick has been running from things in his past. Two, something is trying to kill these characters, and usually always is. Three, the Citadel is no longer there. And four, the universe as we know it has changed, which I think lines up very well with the idea that bigger adversaries might be waiting for Rick now that the events of the Season 5 finale have taken place, making the multiverse more accessible. Hard to say what those things could be, but I think the idea is pretty clear in this little promo teaser. It's also cool to see that the show seems to be fully acknowledging the big shakeup at the end of Season 5, seemingly right off the bat. The Season 6 logline acknowledges this too.
It's Season 6 and Rick and Morty are back. Pick up where we left them, worse for wear and down on their luck. Will they manage to bounce back for more adventures?
On top of this, the final clip in the Season 6 promo is the one new piece of footage we get, with Rick and Morty talking to a mystery character who's covered by a big spoiler image.
Oh my god, stop explaining! Stop explaining!
Are you finished?
Rick and Morty both appear to still be on the remaining section of the Citadel, which leads me to believe this all just takes place immediately after the events of the season 5 finale. And picking up where we left off seems promising. It could have just been easy for them to ignore the season 5 finale for a bit, and this all kinda lines up with Justin Roiland's recent interview about season 6 as well. Here's a Roiland quote from the IGN interview. I will say that it's a bit more canonical. It really rewards fans of the show that have been watching up to this point. So it's like, I think we're kind of finally back into the rhythm of Rick and Morty, and I think season 6 is, I don't particularly think season 5 was bad, but season 6 is fucking amazing. It really is a fucking quality season. Obviously the big word here being canonical, which I think would come as a surprise to many longtime Rick and Morty fans who feel the show has generally felt a bit of disdain towards the constant requests for serialized canonical storytelling, especially with episodes like Never Ricking Mort, the infamous Story Train episode that openly mocked certain ideas about the Evil Morty storyline. But now that we're about halfway through Rick and Morty's run, it seems like maybe the writers are changing their tune and willing to focus a bit more on canonical serialized concepts rather than touching on them a couple of times a season. And the other, more ominous teaser for season 6, I think proposes some even more interesting ideas. Check out the 15-second clip titled A Citadel Secret. It appears to show some type of massive egg contained in a laboratory tube on the Citadel, and the subsequent explosions and destruction within the lab implies that this takes place during the season 5 finale. It also plays the Evil Morty theme, so I think this is the destruction of the Citadel. So one little piece of serialization that it appears we'll be focusing on is that this egg may hatch and or be unleashed because of the destruction of the Citadel. I love a good mysterious egg. Anything could be in there. But the teaser also throws to www.rickandmorty.com, which reveals even more info. One, we have a logo for something called Rick and Morty Wormageddon alongside this new clip, and a countdown, which started at just over 12 days when this first clip went up. Underneath this clip are 2 other locked clips. So it seems clear that this countdown will lead to the next clip being unlocked, teasing something else for the upcoming season, and then I expect 12 or so days after that clip releases, the final clip will as well, which should leave just about a week until the season 6 premiere. This has my mind running with possibilities. The subtitle Wormageddon is wild, because is it meant to be a subtitle for the entire season? Is this the Wormageddon arc? And will it be more heavily serialized than previous seasons? I have a hard time believing the season would be fully serialized, but if it at the very least has connective tissue and a generally serialized story that's dealt with over these 10 episodes, that would be pretty cool. Is it possible this egg contains the titular worm from Wormageddon? Or is it possible that the egg actually doesn't survive the Citadel destruction and the mother worm now seeks revenge for its offspring being murdered? There are a lot of possibilities here. Regardless, we'll likely be getting 2 more teaser clips as soon as this countdown completes, and maybe that will shed more light on what Wormageddon actually means. The fact that the initial teaser focuses so directly on the aftermath of the season 5 finale, Roiland describes the new season as more canonical, and now we've got this Wormageddon branding, the possibilities of a more serialized Rick and Morty seem more alive than ever, which is shocking to say as a Rick and Morty fan. I actually love the idea of future Rick and Morty seasons getting their own subtitles. This is something that Adventure Time did a lot in its later seasons, and Rick and Morty seems a natural show to be able to set an entire season around some major sci-fi concept or event. Of course, this is Rick and Morty, so this could all just be wildly wishful thinking, but there is definitely something new going on here. Justin Roiland also claimed in that interview that there is a good point of entry episode as well, which could mean a lot of things, but I expect this means it will be setting up the ongoing storyline that will be most important to this season. And we actually got a complete title list for season 6 as well, and though Rick and Morty titles are hard to decipher because they're generally such absurd puns, it's probably worth trying to decipher what we can and see what we can figure out about these episodes. The episodes are titled Bethic Twinstinct, titled after Basic Instinct, Rictional Mortpoons Rickmas Mortcation, titled after National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Full Meta Jackrick, titled after Full Metal Jacket, Final Destination, probably named after the films of the same name, Rick a Mort Well Lived, which is seemingly based on the game Roy a Life Well Lived from Rick and Morty Season 2, Night Family, not sure what this means or stems from, A Rick in King Mortar's Mort, based on the title A Kid in King Arthur's Court, Solarix, based on Solaris, Analyze Piss, stemming from the film Analyze This, and Jurassic Mort, which obviously Jurassic Park. Bethic Twinstinct sounds naturally like it's got to be an episode focusing on both Beth and Space Beth. I can't imagine there's anything else this could mean, which I think is great. I loved the season 4 finale, and the dual Beth stuff was the strongest aspect of that episode for sure. An entire episode focused on both of them, hopefully together, sounds really great. Full Meta Jack Rick is an interesting title too, particularly because the word meta is in there rather than metal. Could this be another story train-like episode that dissects the show's story tendencies? Final Destination actually fascinates me, and my pipe dream for this episode is that it's this season's interdimensional Cable / Morty's Mindblower style episode, but showcasing all of the most wild and insane ways across the multiverse that Ricks and Mortys have died. It fits for both the parody of the Final Destination films themselves and as one of the more vignette-focused story ideas that we've seen in past seasons. Rick, a Mort Well-Lived is super interesting because unless the Roy game was already a reference to something I'm unaware of, this is a super self-referential episode idea. Is it possible we're going to get an entire episode set in the Roy game? Or is this actually a big story-focused episode about Rick's entire life? A Mort Well-Lived? I don't know. Other than that, it's hard to make any real predictions about what these titles might mean, as they often are just loosely connected to the stories themselves, but if you have any ideas what they could be, leave your ideas below in the comments. So yeah, that's where we're at. We've got a lot of interesting info about the upcoming season and some very curious marketing developments that seem to set the new season apart. What is this egg? What is Wormageddon? How canonical are we talking, Justin? I am actually wildly interested to see what this all ends up meaning. It could be a really cool and unique season of Rick and Morty, and I would love to see them change things up in its 6th season. And maybe I'll make follow-up videos to this after we get those new teasers when the countdowns wrap up. We'll see how juicy those clips end up being. All right, give me all your thoughts on this marketing and your expectations for the new season down below in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Johnny!
Two cellos.